The Footstool Incident by Karnaghan. An open door is an invitation to look inside. It is like an opportunity to find oneself. Sometimes people are unable to find themselves. They are looking for something, looking for a resolution to one's life purpose. Kingsley was in such a state. He was always dreaming of a life, his life, only spiritual. He was to have a connection to nature. Of course, the open door would not show him an answer to his spiritual quest, nor would it give him answers to the strange visions that had been disturbing his sleep. No, the room was occupied, and upon looking, made him stop. Nor would the open door enlighten Kingsley as to his life's purpose, part of messages that had dogged him all his life. The open door forced Kingsley to do something which was paramount to his future. He acted upon a desire. The thought did not enter his head to think, nor even should he think about this act. No, he went straight ahead and walked into the room, uninvited. Normally, Kingsley would not have acted in this way, but he was really fed up with life, really fed up. Nothing was going right for him. At work, he could not see a future. He applied for other jobs that were right, but did not even get a reply. It was as if he didn't exist. Now he went into work 3 days a week. But to walk into the room the way he did was really a turning point. It was the moment in his life where the risk did not enter his head. In this case, it was a risk to his reputation, a risk maybe even to his marriage. But these things did not even enter his head. "Now that is a funny use for a footstool," he said calmly. Kingsley usually spoke slowly. He thought about his words and infuriated his wife through not talking quickly enough. This time his words were fast and well-toned. However, his excitement was so far under control. It could be said that he was always in control. Unusual, you might say. Yes, unusual. In fact, this was the defining strength for his life purpose. Kingsley had full control over his mind, emotion, and passion. So much so that he did not express himself with passion. He was not happy, nor was he ever sad. His wife loved him for it. Calm, dependable, and clean. What would she have said to him walking into this room, the spare room, and saying, "Now that is a funny use for a footstool"? But she was away, with their 2 daughters at their beach house for the long weekend. Kingsley couldn't go. He had work to do. The big house, with double garage and swimming pool, 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, formal lounge, dining room, and family room, had only 2 occupants. Kingsley had started his work, and before entering the room was going to the kitchen for a drink, for it was a little warm, although his house was air-conditioned. Kingsley did not like it because it reminded him of work, and he liked his house to be hot. Tonight it was hot. A Friday night, hot, sticky, and perfect for a swim. However, Kingsley had kept the cover over the pool and did not let anyone use it, so that it would keep clean. Upon entering the room, he would have liked to have said, "Let's go for a swim." But he could not. All he could say was, "Now that is a funny use for a footstool." For indeed it was, otherwise Kingsley may not have entered the room. Now that Kingsley was in the room, he was still thirsty. In fact, entering the room had not altered this need. Entering the room had, though, given him another feeling. A feeling that, although perfectly natural, had been kept firmly in check. It was the sign of a loser, one that has no control. Normally, he would have dismissed this feeling as being low, loser low. His incredible self-control was altered by him walking into the room, because now he had acted. He was now on his way to meeting all of his goals, his real goals, and the goals hidden behind his control. Of course, Kingsley knew this. Kingsley knew a lot of things. Kingsley could write about a lot of things. He could keep a reader dangling on a thread even with the driest of subjects. But to speak in a fast and well-toned way was new, even if he did only say, "Now that is a funny use for a footstool." Now, standing there in the room, the spare room, the guest's room, he was ready to say something else. He was too busy looking at the legs to frame his sentence. He was too busy anticipating a movement by the young lady, the occupant of the room, to think clearly about what he should say. "The image before me is artistic, Genevieve. That is a very artistic pose." "Really?" she said, wondering what had caused this sudden change in attitude. "I am an artist. I like to act, to be someone else for just a few moments." "To be someone else," he said with a touch of passion. Just a touch. "I am going to a drama group tomorrow afternoon. All sorts of people go. Why don't you come along?" "Acting? Why, I have never even thought of acting." Kingsley hadn't even watched TV for a year. It caused loose spending and depleted the brain's capacity to reach the highest levels. He let his wife and daughters watch because he loved them. "I have to finish." His mind fleetingly went back to his work. But Genevieve shut her eyes and settled back down in her position. Why was it so important a fact for her to close her eyes? For Kingsley, she reverted to being a work of art, and even his work had deserted him. But his thirst was now an even greater problem. He felt he needed to leave the room to get a drink. Kingsley had control. He turned, purposefully, went to the kitchen. As was his habit, he only drank tap water. In fact, Kingsley had a theory about bottled water and had written a wonderful paper on it. As he walked back to his desk, the door was still open. The footstool was still being used in a way that was not usual. He stood watching her body take in air and then get rid of it again. It was artistic. The girl, half on a chair and half on a footstool, was breathing. Her nightgown, her short nightgown, rose and fell with her breathing. Kingsley did not enter, but art had infiltrated his defenses. Art had become part of Kingsley's life. His thought now began to be corrupted with thoughts that did not meet his high standards. Genevieve did not change her position, did not give any sign that she was aware of his position. In fact, she was asleep. Kingsley watched and decided that this could not be written, rather it had to be shown. And it was visual. Her bottom was on the footstool, her head on the seat of the armchair, while her feet cascaded down the carpet. He decided on atmospheric determinism, a film with surround sound, a film with no music, a film of very slow camera movements. Starting with her feet, it would be an extremely slow journey up her body, with only her breathing, the sound of nature, and the subject herself. He would entitle this work, "The Footstool Incident." Getting his camera, he felt something. Excitement, happiness, atmospheric determinism. Her feet, naked, were at funny angles. In fact, he wanted to move them because no one could sleep with feet in that angles. The subject's legs were legs, not art, not beauty, but legs. Steady legs, sturdy and practical. Should he delete them from his movie? No, he continued. The subject's short nightgown was not film-worthy. It was practical. It moved with her breathing. It just covered her pants, which he thought was a shame. However, an artist could move just a little so that the pants or some of the pants could come into view. Maybe he could move the offending material of the practical nightgown to see more of the pants. The subject started to snore. Moving part of the nightgown achieved a better view of the subject's pants. Again, practical, they certainly suited her snoring ability. Can practical underpants suit a snoring subject? The film moved up the body, watching the body breathe in and breathe out. The subject's breasts were visible through the thin, practical material. The film was being spoilt by this practical nightgown, which showed no artistic merit at all. The subject should take it off. But the subject was asleep. The film finished. But Kingsley now felt something more, something strange. He felt lust. How could he feel lust for a subject that would wear such a nightgown and have her feet at such funny angles? But lust he felt. Kingsley was quite happy to feel something. It may even help him with his work.